Hi everyone, and welcome to this quick live training session today where I'm going to teach you how to level up your website. Just quickly, please open up the Q&A or the chat panel and send me a hello message just to let me know you can hear me okay, and then we'll get cracking. And just a bit of housekeeping, this session is being recorded. I'll just double check that. So if you do have to duck off early, even though it's going to be a short session today, hopefully, I'll send you a copy of the recording and any resources that I share as well. Hi, William. Hi, Stan. Thanks a lot for sending your hello. Thanks for being here today live as well. Awesome. So feel free to use that Q&A or that chat box as we go. Send through your questions. I've got them up on screen here as we go, and I'll do my best to answer them throughout the session. Otherwise, there will be a few minutes at the end for a Q&A. So please feel free to send in any questions. And just to let you know, this is part one of a 3-part live training series. So today is all about making sure you have the basics in place, obviously. And next week, we're going to be talking about taking it to that next level, particularly with what you can do around clients and resources. And then part 3 will all be about growth marketing, growth websites. So you need to have these foundations in place in order to get to that, though. So let's get into it. Thanks again for coming along. And I'll just introduce myself properly. I'm Anthea Crona, Business Development at BizInc, and I've worked exclusively with accountants and bookkeepers for the last 7 and a bit years now, helping them with websites and marketing. So over that time, I've seen some standout websites and I've seen some shocking websites too. So I'm here to break down what you need to have on yours. So let's get into it and keep it snappy. So firstly, why do you even need a website? You probably know it's 2024 that you need a website, but for your very first website, which is what we're going to focus on today, you need more of an online brochure type website, what we call it, so that you're out there, people know you exist, even if your growth is coming from, friends, family, networking, that sort of stuff, which is usually what we hear in the early days. So we know that from our research, about 85% of new leads for accounting and bookkeeping firms come from referrals, mostly client referrals. And let me know if that rings true for you as well. And we know that that's because most people aren't going to give their finances to someone that they don't trust, right? They're more likely to take the recommendation of someone they trust and reach out to you because of that. So referrals will still do their due diligence. Someone recommends, John, their accountant, but before they give him a call or an email or whatever it might be, they might still Google that name and check out your website. That's how they'll often end up on your website the first instance. So we need to be making sure that your website makes a good first impression for those people as well. If they're browsing and they've had this recommendation, what are they going to be looking for, and what will they see when they get there? So I'm going to break down the 6 basic elements of great accounting and bookkeeping websites. The first one is design. And one trap that people fall into is actually getting so hung up on design that they don't launch their website for months or years in cases we've worked on. Just remember, this is not a design contest, particularly not if it's your first website or, it's early days. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, first impressions count, and they're hard to shake if it's a bad one. It needs to not look like crap to new leads and first-time visitors. But my advice here is to pick a simple, clean design and to get cracking, because a website launch today is, even if it's not a 10 out of 10, it's better than nothing launched for months or years, like I said. So keep it simple. Really, like I said, it's about developing an online brochure so that people can look you up, check you exist, verify what you do, and reach out easily. That's what it's about. And you can still find many great big businesses that have a fairly simple website design, like Berkshire Hathaway, for example. Less is more. I've seen some pretty horribly text-heavy accounting websites in my time, and I just look at them thinking, honestly, who's going to read all that? Business owners are busy enough, and you most likely can't answer everyone's questions via the website anyway. You'll usually have to talk to that person in order to do that. So it's best to just keep things simple when it comes to the content that's on your site as well. And another tip is to make sure you avoid jargon, as it will just leave people confused, and if they get confused, they'll likely just click X and never come back to your website, right? If you're unsure about, the content that's on your site, maybe get a non-accounting friend or, even a kid to read through your website and just give it a look over and check the wording of it, that it's not too intense. And yeah, maybe a fellow business friend can give you some feedback, or even a friendly client would be good as well. They're the target market, right? In fact, I'd keep it as simple as this formula. I would obviously a homepage and about page with a photo if you can. But honestly, if for version 1, that could be added into your homepage as well. One services page and then the contact page. Now, that might seem really super simple to some people, but since what we're talking about today is just the essentials, that is absolutely all you need. Now, of course, at Fizzink, most of our websites come with a lot more than this. We provide lots of resources and things, but since this is nail the basics, that's all you really need to get started. And Matt, our CEO, is very encouraging of one services page. Keep it simple, like you might be able to see on screen on this slide, just a little section, probably a sentence or two, I think, on that slide about each service. And there's different ways you can display that. We've got an image there with each, and if they want to know more, they can contact you. And obviously, as you grow, I'd be adding things like a team page, testimonials page, blog, resources, but that's for next week. This week is just about the basics, so that's really all you need to get started, to give people a little bit of info and tease what you do, and then they can get in touch if they have any questions, and it's not overwhelming anyone. The third point I have today is that contacting you needs to be really, really easy. If you make it hard for people to contact you, well, yeah, you're going to get less inquiries, right? It's harder. So 2 pieces of advice here. First is to add multiple ways for people to contact you. So add a phone number, an email address, maybe a contact form where they can leave you a message, and I'll give you bonus points for an appointment booker like Calendly, or it doesn't have to be Calendly, but I know they have a free starter plan, so it's a great option for most people, like you can see on screen here. And if you've ever booked a meeting with us at Fizzink, we use these as well. And we saved quite a bit of admin time when we added this to our website. That email tennis going back and forth of, are you free at Tuesday, 10 a.m.? No, what about Wednesday? Like, it just saves so much time. And for that, initial consultation that people are booking, you don't even know these people, right? So it could be the difference in getting to know this person, getting a lead basically, or them leaving your website completely. And I know a lot of young people are moving towards appointment bookers as well. So I'd really recommend it. If you need any suggestions on platforms or anything, just flick me a message, but Calendly is a great option. This is just about giving people the option to contact you in the way that you prefer. Just like I'm saying, some people prefer to book a meeting. Well, some people prefer a phone call or an email. Some people hate phone calls. So it's just about letting them pick the way that suits you. But I do know that a lot of people will appreciate being able to book a time straight away that suits them. Now, my second tip here is to make sure your contact details are clearly visible on every page. So no matter where they're browsing on your website, you want it to be clear to them how they can get in touch. Whatever it is that sort of triggers them to contact you, you want them to be able to find that easily. And most people sort of look for that in the top right. Typically we see websites have, logo at the left, contact details at the right. They'll also be in the footer. So sort of put it where people are expecting. This is all part of our templates at Fizzink as well. Don't make people have to search for your contact details. Basically, make it really obvious. You might even put a different colored button, or your phone number might be bigger or a different color or something like that. And that question that makes people squirm, what is it that makes you different? What is your value proposition? This is obviously a pivotal part of your website, to let people know what it is that you do, who it is that you work with and the problems that you solve for them. Obviously on BizInc's website, it needs to be super clear that we only work with accountants and bookkeepers, right? So if you work with a niche, that needs to be in that, that first statement on the homepage. And things like images can help back that up as well. If it's tradies, then you should have an image that reflects that as well. If this is your very first website that you're building, which some of you on this call might be, then I know you might struggle to answer all these questions in the way that you'd like to. I know it's something that people struggle with and you never maybe quite feel like you've got the right answer. I know at BizInc, we're always looking at our, positioning statements. It's something that always evolves over time. So I find it's something that you just have to get started with and keep refining over time, because every good business will keep refining it as you grow and things change. So don't let it be a barrier to getting a good website live, but you do need to put thought into it as well. Any good website, definitely BizInc's platform anyway, will make it easy for you to edit the wording at a later date. So as you do refine things, you can change the wording to suit you as well. You just need to make it clear to people visiting the site who it's for, really. Now, calls to action. Call to action is a bit of marketing jargon, so I'll just explain what that is, as I said, to avoid it. So it's a term for like text that's designed to prompt an action. So you might see like buy now, download now, book an appointment, those sorts of things. So the thing to think about here is, what is the one thing that you'd most like visitors to do on your website? And for most people, that's usually booking that first initial consult call, whatever you call that. You probably know what I mean, but that first call. So book an appointment, book a free health check, or whatever you call it, is probably that call to action for you. It just gives visitors a clear next step so they know what they have to do in order to reach out to you. Just pick something and feature that throughout the site. Again, like I was saying with your contact details, make it obvious. Colored buttons and things work well for this as well, like you can see in the screenshot on screen. But I would just avoid multiple calls to action, as it can sort of dilute the message and confuse people. So obviously you still need your contact details, but if you want to direct them to do something, I'd recommend that first consult. And along the keep it simple vein, it's best to have a simple navigation as well, so visitors don't get overwhelmed. Again, I've seen some complicated menus with interesting names as well. Our services, or what we do, or how we help, something like that I think is perfectly fine. Don't try and be tricky. Just think about what potential clients would be looking for, and don't overwhelm them with heaps of different options. Otherwise, they will just close the tab, put it in the too hard basket, right? And lastly, obviously, these are just some basics. Obviously, you're going to need a logo, and if you're brand new and you don't have one, or you're looking for a redesign, reach out to us. We can do that as well. Just obviously make sure the logo is clear and easy to read, not stretched or blurry. We have some tips on that if you, again, are looking for a new logo. The second is a security certificate. So it's getting a bit technical here, but any good website provider will handle it for you, and it's free with all BizInc packages. But that's what the screenshot here is, that little lock that shows up in your URL bar. That means information to and from the website is encrypted. If you don't have it, well, people might not be able to access your website. Sometimes Google Chrome will put up a block, and you're not going to be ranking in Google either. So definitely an essential. And just lastly, I think it goes without saying that your website needs to be mobile friendly in 2024. The majority of Google searches are coming from mobile these days. So again, any good website platform should be built in. And yeah, definitely part of what we do at BizInc as well. So we've just hit the 15 minutes. I'll just do a quick recap just to tell you, don't stress too much about design or long pieces of content. Try your best to keep it simple and just make it easy for people to get in touch with you. I know it is hard, but try and take a step back, or get a friend or something to review the site. Just do those basics. Once you get them up there, you can continually tweak your website over time to keep improving it. And just like with bookkeeping or tax, it's always better to use the help of professionals if it's not in your skill set. And for anyone who's come along today or listening to this recording, we'd be happy to give you a free, honest assessment of your website. All we need is your website domain. Just give me 1 second and I'll copy this into the chat. There we go. So you can request a website audit. A real person at BizInc will review your site and write a report for you. We'll let you know the good and the bad. People like to know what they're doing well as well. We're not just here to tear you apart. So if we think it's good, we'll let you know, and it's free. So no brainer to me. You can request that. And if you're looking for a new website, we do have some options for all budgets. Our Express website package has no upfront fee. And our Pro website, a few levels up, has a great built-in email marketing platform with, content, help with social, search, and email marketing, newsletters, that sort of stuff, everything you need to get started with marketing your firm. Plus, we actually have a special offer on at the moment until the end of October. So if you pay annually, we'll wipe out the upfront fee. So saving you at least $1,000 depending on the package that you go for. Or if you choose that Express option, which has no upfront fee, we'll give you BizPress Pro, which is our library of content and resources for a year. So an extra $490 of value. But if you want to find out more, if you're looking for a website, probably best to book a call with us and we can chat one-on-one to find out which package suits you best anyway. So I'll just paste a link to book a call. This is for new clients who would like a website from BizInc. Or the other way to get in touch, I'll just see if I can launch this poll. If you'd like to find out more, just answer the poll yes or no, and I'll be in touch to help you there. And just lastly, we've got 2 more sessions in this series. So next week we'll be taking it up a notch. That was the basics and sort of the foundation of your website. But we have a same session the same time next week and the week after. Now you should have got registrations for all 3, but there was a little bit of a hiccup. So if you didn't, please let me know in the chat and I'll arrange that for you. Or paste this link in. You can just register through this form and it should work. So next week, I'll be showing you how to take it to the next level in terms of like extra features, content, and resources. And it's particularly going to be focusing around your existing clients and how you can showcase them, use their feedback, and make your website a hub for them as well. And then the week after is about using your website to grow by capturing, new leads through the site. So register there if you're interested for those, or message me if you haven't got the Zoom confirmations already. And just, that's it for today. I'll stick around if there are any questions in the chat that come through while I'm here. But if not, feel free to email that email on screen, hello@bizinconline.com, and I'll be happy to get back to you. Otherwise, if you have to duck off, thank you so much for your time today. A couple minutes overtime, sorry about that. But I'll be in touch with those people who answered yes, and I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot for your time.